Do you care what day it is, Rex? No, don't care. Just let me out. Oh, you took a left. This could be an issue. Why did you take a left? That means there are scents. You ever study something for hours and hours, and then by the end of it, you think to yourself, you know what? I have more questions than answers. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Is Rex going to bark during this forecast? All right, the questions are how much rain? It's a Monday, Tuesday thing. Last week was the only week where we had a Monday, Tuesday without heavy rain since really August. Well, heavy rain is back. So let's start with the question, how much rain? We have that precipitable water connection again. Not quite as dramatic as last Wednesday and Thursday, but you can really make out the air coming from the Gulf of Mexico, across North Florida, from the Bahamas into New England. But this time it's eastern New England, not all of New England. So last Thursday we thought, oh, eastern Connecticut is the bullseye with 2 to 4 inches of rain or even more. Well, guess who's the bullseye now? Eastern Massachusetts and Maine. But we might as well throw darts with these high-resolution models. All it means is some of us are vulnerable to inches of rain over the next 60 hours. That was the NAM 60-hour prog. And it does look most likely that it would be where that precipitable water is heavy, which would be east of the Connecticut River. But if you look at the maps this morning on the radar, the heaviest rain is in southeastern New York. Well, in proximity to New England anyway. And there's some thunder already showing up to the northwest of New York City. A lot of lightning off of North Carolina. And so something's brewing out there. So that's the rainfall off and on over the next couple of days. And then if you look at the Northeast Surf Cam, you know, I did a surf cast yesterday. I hope you've all checked it out. The swell has got better. Yesterday it was 3 foot 9 seconds, and now it's 3 to 4, 11 seconds. And it's kind of a mystery. Not sure where that nice surf is coming from, but it's here. And those that have to really work hard for a living, like I'm going to have to do pretty soon, I can't keep volunteering forever, are out there surfing before they have to go to work this morning on that swell. Thank you, Northeast Surfing, for these cams. They're awesome. So surf continues up. What's the wind going to do? Well, that's a tough one again. A light variable today, I think, and then tomorrow it looks like it tries to pick up a little bit, but not much, and as the sun tries to come back out maybe tomorrow late. And then we're going to have wind from the southwest on Wednesday and Thursday. Why do I chuckle? Because let's look at the Wednesday morning map. It's colder on the coast in Louisiana than it is on the coast in Maine. That's high amplitude flow. Here's how it happens. That upper level low, which dug in last week over the Great Lakes, is redigging. Big blue blob getting bluer. And it's going to send the coldest air from central Canada due south along the Mississippi River. Meanwhile, the sort of modified colder air is going to come around the bottom of the trough and up into New England. That trough axis stays west of us all week. Good job, GFS, from a week ago, saying this trough may last days and days and complicate the forecast into next week. Well, this week is next week from last week. That make any sense? And Andrew, are you back? Are you on the guillotine boat this morning? Is that the guillotine boat? Changing the subject a little bit, aren't I? Yep, boats continue to come out of the water. Not many left, so pretty much those buoys are going to be replaced with winter markers. Oh, speaking of winter markers, I did a lot of work on the garden. What's that got to do with anything? I kind of cleaned it up. You can't really tell, but I don't want to let my garden go. So still got bearing fruit here. And check the temperature on our way by. Let's see, 48. Not worried about frost this week. So that's a winter marker there I found on the beach and brought it. Anyone need a winter marker? Yeah, I did a lot of work in the garden yesterday. When's it going to snow here? That's another question. Surf, ski, weather. Well, it's not. It's going to snow more in West Virginia. First flakes in Kentucky before we see flakes in Maine. And that transition from the heat in the northwest to the chill is going to be rather abrupt. And check out, if you look at the national snowfall map from the Euro for next week, for the next week into the following week, there's a spot of, what's that say? I can't remember the number, but something like 55 or 60 inches of snow on the tallest mountains in Washington and Oregon. A little bit of a dirty layer on the water above, well, in the air above Boston, above the water. It was a calm, cool night last night, but I'm not worried about frost here. What else did I want to show you? Oh yeah, the GFS is usually the model that kind of goes off on a tropical system coming at us out of nowhere, but GFS doesn't have this. The Euro actually has a system developing over Florida, and what I thought was going to be a big warm-up next week, if this is correct, the warm-up is going to be dented by a sort of hybrid tropical system coming up the coast from Florida to New England this weekend, arriving here probably later Sunday into Monday when we have a new moon. So that plot thickens. I showed you all about the surf, talked about the garden. Thought about leaving you with some garden, but instead I'm going to leave you with something I haven't even really previewed yesterday. Peter Hecking and his family went to the Cranberry bogs in the north side of Dennis. You may remember that we met Dean a few months ago, and well, it's harvest, so we'll look at a little bit of the cranberry harvest happening on Cape Cod. Dean and Annie, Peter and Chowen and Anson yesterday. Quick note about Pete's video, shot yesterday with an iPhone 13. Apparently there's an HDR setting and that is not compatible with iMovie, so the video does not come out right. If anyone has a fix for this, I'm all ears, but you do have the audio and we'll get the gist of it.
Here at Annie's Crannies. Here's Annie.
Almost all.
Almost all.
Yeah, you drop. Now you got a bag of berries.
Yeah. Oh.
You see how many are in there, honey? That quick?
Yeah.
What's that, 40 feet?
And they're there.
Yeah.
They're all wet.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be wet.
Yeah.
This is dry picking, not wet picking.
Yeah.
A wet.
Corn called the lotus, the flower.
Oh, lotus.
Yeah, lotus.
Lotus flower. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Lotus.